This is brought to you by the Kansas City Business Association, located at 1601 East 18th Street, Suite 200F.
What's up, Kansas City? I'm Serenity, and today we have founder of Playful Awareness. She's also one of the board members of Jumpstart Art, and she's a poet, Sara Minges.
Hi.
Thanks for coming in, Sara.
Thank you for having me.
So you are an artist and you're also an entrepreneur. So why don't you tell us about some of your entrepreneurial things that you're working on?
I'm working on doing some poetry groups through Playful Awareness, and Playful Awareness is a small counseling practice that provides counseling services, play therapy services, and meditation for children, teens, and adults. And it's really about getting back into the game of life and really having a creative curiosity, artistic curiosity about life and the world around you. And once you're doing that, it's a lot easier to get through the hard times. And so that's really what Playful Awareness is all about. So we're working on some poetry workshops for that. We're also incorporating essential oils into our practice, helping to educate our clients about the benefits of using essential oils to help manage moods, depression, anxiety, difficulties with sleep, inattention, that sort of thing.
And then tell us a little about your involvement in Jumpstart Art and what that is.
Yeah, so Jumpstart Art is a nonprofit that was founded by Sharon Eicher, and she invited me to sit on the board. And basically we connect emerging artists with community resources. Many of the people on our boards are artists and poets and musicians, so we really wanted to give back to the community and help those emerging artists, the artists and poets that are either afraid to embrace their artistic talent or are an artist and want to have an art showing and have no idea how to do that, or a poet that would like to perform at a competition or just get up in front of a group of strangers and perform some poetry. It's really about supporting and encouraging them. And if we can't provide that service, it's connecting them with community organizations that are already providing that.
Okay. So you guys are having an event coming up also. Can you tell us a little bit about that event?
Absolutely. So we're having a CD release party. Many of the people on our board and some other poets in the community created a CD performing our poems, and it was set to music. And so we're having a CD release party on November the 6th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Uptown Arts Bar. And it's a great opportunity to be able to connect with the community, to let them know a little bit more about Jumpstart Art. Then there will also be a live performance from the poets on the CD that are new poems that aren't on the CD, to kind of give you a different, just more info about some different things that we're doing as poets.
So who are some of the poets and artists who are going to be on that CD?
Sharon Eicher, David Arnold Hughes, Kai Zen, myself, Joe Schneblin.
Okay. I like Sara Eicher because she can sing and do all that too. So tell us a little bit about Playful Awareness. Like, why did you decide to start that company?
I found myself unemployed. I'd been working at a mental health center, and there'd been some downsizing, and I had a whole lot of time on my hands. And I've always really wanted to have my own practice because I have a mother that suffered from mental health issues for many years. I really believe that we sometimes do a disservice to the community without thinking outside of the box. And I really wanted to think outside the box and have mental health services for clients that really wanted to feel better and not focus on diagnosis or focus on traditional therapy. I wanted to do things that were short-term, that would work, that would help people get back in the game of life and have this curiosity about life instead of viewing life as a sad, cold, and welcoming, scary place, about embracing life and thinking about all the great possibilities that are out there. So that's kind of how it got created. And Playful Awareness, the words come from that playful curiosity. I love to smile. I'm smiling a lot. If I don't smile, I'm having a really bad day. So, and because I have that, and people have often said you have this great aura and this great zest for life. And so part of that is about sharing that with people and helping them to get back to really enjoying life. So that's really what that's about.
So tell us a little about your educational background, because like I said earlier, like you're legitimate. You've been doing counseling for years, so tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. I grew up in Lincoln, Nebraska, and in high school I was on the board for our poetry club. So it was an opportunity for students to just write and performs poetry. And then I thought I was going to major in international languages and live in Europe and all of this great stuff when I went to college and after college. And then I took a psychology class. And I thought, oh, that's it for me. Really like to help people. And people in high school, they keep calling me to tell me all about their problems. And apparently I gave them some good advice or something because they kept telling me how appreciative they were. So I thought I could probably do this. And so then I decided, I love to travel. So I decided I was going to go to school at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, which is a great experience. Peyton Manning was actually in my English class. Go Peyton. And so I really enjoyed it. Afterwards, I stayed in Tennessee for a couple of years and worked as a respite counselor for children with emotional disturbances. And so I worked with a lot of low-income families and families that weren't able to read. So it really challenged me to be able to communicate them in a different way than having to read. And so it was a great experience. And then I moved to Kansas City, where my dad's from. And then I took a job at the mental health center in Emporia and worked there for a couple of years. And prior to that, actually, before I took that job, I went to Avila University. I got my master's in counseling psychology. And then soon after that, about 2 months later, I started that new job. And then, because I always need a project, and since I was done with school, I decided maybe I needed a little more schooling. So then I signed up for a play therapy certification program, which was a 10-month postmaster's program on all about play therapy. Yes, there are guidelines. Yes, it's not just playing around and goofing off. So I do have my credentials. And then I started Playful Awareness back in 2009.
Right. That's great. So as far as you being a poet, can you tell us your start into poetry and how that happened?
Sure. Well, my mom was a poet. Poetry was kind of our love language. And when I was in 4th grade, I participated in the poetry unit in my English class. And my English teacher told me that I would never be a poet because I don't rhyme and I don't follow iambic pentameter.
Right.
Well, now I kind of want to send her one of my poems.
Right. That's why I said you told her, huh?
That's right. So many years went by, and then in high school, I rediscovered my love of poetry in response to some of the chaos that was going on in my family and with my mother, and really rediscovered the love of that. And I swore I would never, ever read my poetry in public. It was not meant for public consumption. And then I met a poet called David Arnold Hughes that challenged me to continue to write and to perform, and really gave me the courage to get up and perform poetry. So this is partly due to David.
Hi, David. So who would you say inspires you poetically?
David's at the top of that list. The best advice he ever gave me was, Sarah, if you're going to be a poet, you need to always carry a notebook with you. Well, I don't always do that, but I usually have my phone with me. So I thought. Jen Harris is another person that really inspires me. She is so authentic in her performance poetry. She writes from the heart. I'm an emotional writer like she is, although my poems are much shorter. And she really has encouraged me. I saw her at a poetry event recently, and she was so excited for the evolution of my poetry. And so she's just such an inspiration. So thank you, Jen.
I think that's good that other poets are also fans of each other, our poetry as well, not just their own work. So what advice would you give to a person who is, like I said, you're an entrepreneur, you're a poet as well, time management and just balancing it all? Like, what would be your advice for someone?
Well, I'm not always very good at the time management piece. It's a work in progress. But what I would first say is think about what is most important to you and what you'll be brokenhearted about if you're not able to do that. For me, I love to write poetry and I love to help others. So I hired a staff person, Christopher Selby, another poet, to take care of some administrative stuff for me so I can get back to creating and doing what I love. So I'd say part of that. I'd also say it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, I'd love to talk with you. I'm really excited about the new things that you're doing, but unfortunately I don't have time right now. Give me a call in a couple weeks so that way I can devote the time that would really be needed for this project. And that's okay.
Right. We were talking about that at the Gilded thing about the saying no, and then also the entrepreneurial aspect of arts. And that's what I was saying as far as how do you balance, because you have your own business and you do poetry as well.
I did want to say that sometimes when you're an artist, you don't always get paid for your craft. And so it's really important to believe in yourself enough and believe that you have what it takes, and people want to hear your poetry or read your poetry, and they want to enjoy your art, and to believe in that, and to not sell yourself short. And it's okay to say, I can't really do this piece for free. And that's okay, because you also need to make a living, and remembering that and trying to balance, yes, I want to create, and if you just want to create, that's fine, but if you want to make a business out of it, kind of like I've done, it's really about talking with people, finding out what they're really looking for, what would be a service or something that they would pay to either have in their home, an item in their home, or a service that you could provide. Also contact your local Small Business Development Center. Will Katz at the KU Small Business Development Center helped me write a business plan. He reviews my business plan every so often. We go to lunch. It's great. But they offer really great free business services for entrepreneurs.
And then with Playful Awareness, I noticed that you have some published poems on your site from people who are local or people that you've worked with. So what poetic projects do you have coming up? Anything, books, publications, any of that stuff?
I last month competed in a mini slam poetry competition, and I placed in the finalist. So there's another competition coming up in a couple of weeks, so I'm getting ready to work on my craft for that as well. I also have a really big passion for helping other poets. So I created a poetry page on my website at playfulawareness.com, where poets can submit poetry to me of any topic whatsoever, no profanity please, but it can be a topic about suicide or depression or divorce or being dumped by the person that you thought was the one, or having a boss that you can't stand, or your parents are giving you a hard time, whatever the topic might be.
With the boss, you might not want to put the name in the poem.
Yes, probably not.
It's out there. But so, how would somebody get in contact with you?
Lots of different ways. They can reach me at playfulawareness.com, our website. They can email me at Sara, S-A-R-A, at playfulawareness.com. They can call me at 913-244-8786. They can connect with me on our business Facebook pages at Playful Awareness LLC and Meditation KC. They can also find us on Twitter at Play Awareness.
All right. Thanks for coming in, Sara.
Thank you.
I'm Serenity, reminding you to spit your piece. Then also make sure you check out whatsupkansascity.net.
I'm IFBB Bikini Pro Cat Williams, and when I'm not working out in the gym, I'm searching the web on Cascade Media and What's Up Kansas City. So make sure you check them out.